It was January 1st of 2021 when Wellspring was born. And we were born from communities discerning and trying to discover what it meant to be growing, thriving churches. So just 3 months earlier, we discovered that we would be launching. And we didn't launch with like this robust vision. And in fact, for most of the time preparing, we didn't even have a name yet. But we had a call to faithfully respond to God's invitation to work in this world here in Oswego. It was the proverbial building the plane while we were flying it. So, it felt like a lot of Gorilla Glue and duct tape putting patchwork together to make this thing work. And when we launched, it was in the midst of the COVID mitigation restrictions. And so the world was just so full of antagonism and vitriol. And people said we were crazy for doing this thing.
Wellspring started during actually a crisis, but also with so much courage and hope. There was about 40 people who were part of the congregation, but since we were separated, it didn't feel like that. It actually felt like there weren't very many people. But we started doing things that kind of created that connection. We had a small group that met through Zoom, and maybe one of the most interesting things was doing worship, because that was all online. And I don't know if there's anything more awkward than talking to nobody but a screen, or trying to sing and not look at each other. But it created something that has continued through these 5 years of a connection and a shared goal and a dependence on God that I see magnifying over and over and over. And so even though it was difficult, I'm actually grateful for that time that we got to start.
One of the things I always love to say is our goal is not to grow fast, it's to grow healthy. And when you understand the difference between those two, you understand really what it means to plant a new church. And so our hope and longing and very intentional pursuit of developing this community was to be a community of belonging. And that wasn't necessarily fully defined yet. We didn't have the words for it right away. But over time, and with new people coming into our community, we began to find this language of what God was calling us to. Along the way, we discovered that this vision, and it wasn't just accidental, it was this intentional pursuit of discernment and prayer communally. It wasn't some Corey bringing down the 10 commandments from the mountain. It was this community saying, this is who we want to be and who we believe God has called us to be. And that was our vision, to be a God-loving, inclusive community of compassion, healing, growth, and service.
It's been really fun to watch the change in our demographic and the way that we gather and things like that. It actually brings me to some emotion when I think about the responses I get from people now. When I sit with them and talk about things that they could do or how they could get involved. And the common thread right now is a phrase that is similar to, put me in wherever as much as you want. I love this church. I love this community. I want to be here. I'm better because I'm here. I have changed because I'm here, and I want to help other people. And I don't think there's anything better that I could hear or that we could know, that people love each other that much and love what God is doing.
The cool thing is, and not always so fun, is there's so many things that could have just wrecked this ship. Each year had its own trials, its own pitfalls, and one of the things we always like to say is no plan survives its collision with reality. And so in planting Wellspring, we had to adapt again, and sometimes go with plan Z because of so many things happening in our community. But yet here we are. And through it all, seeing the beautiful impact and gifts that God has just poured out through the work of this church has been amazing.
Four years in, we leaders and of the teams really wanted to do something to reach out to the community. And so they chose to launch something called the Extravaganza. And it was going to be more than, but it included an Easter egg hunt and some activities for the kids. And we had done a couple of other things before and had some response from the community, but we had no idea what we were going in for. The day that we were going to have the Extravaganza, we finished our service. It was supposed to start within a half an hour. And as we were leaving our worship center, people were flooding into our basement. And I will probably never forget the view that I had when I walked down for the first time and saw a packed community room, probably over capacity, and realized that God had just surpassed our expectations beyond what I could ever imagine.
As we mark this fifth year celebration, we're standing on the threshold of not asking, who are we? We've been doing that for the past 5 years, but the threshold of saying, because of who we are, how might we? And one of the things we've been doing through our leadership conversations and discernment as community is saying, God, what does it mean for us to continue to be that growing, thriving community? And we haven't arrived at this point because of just me or Michelle or anybody else, our staff, Debbie, and our teaching team, and all these retired clergy who keep showing up at our doorstep. But the people in our community who have said, God has gifted me and I want to be part of this thing. I want to use these talents and these skills and my resources and my story as a way of building up and equipping the church, and we are better for it. I like to say Wellspring just has a stacked team. And so that has been so true over these past 5 years in the way we've had amazing people help us become who we are. Part of what we're looking forward to, and my own hope as we look towards these next 5 years, is we have a solid understanding of who we are now. And we have a sense of direction of where God is leading us that has been carefully discerned and intentionally cultivated. And so part of what we're looking towards is, how can we be more inclusive, including in our facilities, right? We inherited an older building, and thank God, right? It's been a beautiful space to worship and gather in, and has served many different communities well. And we also realize that there's limitations there. And so we're putting together a team to discern how might we be more Wellspring with our facilities. We're also looking to charter. We are almost there. And literally, when you look at the checkmark list of things to wrap up, we are on the precipice of becoming a chartered church. And so here in the next year or two, we really are looking for ways to make sure that that is solidified. And we can't wait to celebrate that moment as well. We are continuing to find ways and seek ways to be the church in this moment, speaking to the realities that are happening around us, loving all our neighbors, regardless of demographic, regardless of identification, regardless of so many things. And allowing Wellspring to continue to be a witness and a foretaste of that beautiful kingdom that God is bringing together of every tribe, tongue, and nation.